I clocked in at 22:41 tonight. I always clock in at 22:41. Not because that's my shift time, that's 2300. But I like the building quiet before the lights dim properly. I like hearing it settle, metal contracting, pipes adjusting, that low electrical hum that most people never notice because they're too busy speaking over it. You'd think after all these weeks I'd stop noticing the hum. It's louder tonight. Not in volume. In depth. There's a difference. You know how a fridge sometimes changes tone? Same sound, different feeling. Like it's thinking about failing. Like something inside it has shifted by a fraction. The hum under the security office floor feels like that. I did my usual loop first. Reception, fire doors, stairwell, loading bay, all clear, cameras running, nothing moving except the flicker on monitor 3 that still needs rewiring. Monitor 3 shows corridor C, the one with the long stretch of frosted windows that look out toward the old service road. I don't like corridor C. It's not dramatic. It's just too straight, too long, like it was designed to draw your eye down it and dare you to look too hard. Tonight, when I passed it in person, the air felt cooler. That's normal, you'll say. Drafts. Old building. Except the draft was moving toward me, as if the corridor was breathing out. I stood there for a second, just feeling it against my face. A soft push of cold air. Not a gust. Not a breeze. An exhale. I didn't go all the way down. I told myself I'd check it on the next loop. That's what you do when something feels slightly off but not reportable. You delay it. Give yourself an excuse. Back in the office, I poured coffee from the thermos. It tasted metallic tonight. Probably the flask. Probably my head. At 0017, the first flicker happened. Monitor 3 again. A stutter in the image. Not static, not a glitch. Just dimmer for a fraction of a second. Like someone walked between the camera and the light source. But the corridor lights are ceiling mounted and spaced evenly. You'd have to be tall. Very tall. I rewound the recording. Nothing. No shape, no shadow. Just that brief reduction in brightness. I've watched enough CCTV to know when my brain is inventing movement. This wasn't invention. At 043 I heard the 2-note chime. You know the one. Not from the building. We don't have that system here. Ours is a single long alarm tone. Continuous. Ugly. This was the soft, polite 2-note tone, like a hospital intercom, like a notification that doesn't want to frighten you. It came from the corridor speaker system. Except we don't have corridor speakers. I checked the panel. No alerts, no triggered sensors. And then the hum deepened again. Not louder, just lower. It pressed against my chest. Like standing too close to a subwoofer at a concert, except there's no vibration through the floor, just inside you. I stepped out of the office and into reception. The lights seemed dimmer. Not failing, just tired. I told myself, power fluctuation, grid issues, weather offshore maybe. You rationalize because that's your job. My role isn't to imagine, it's to observe. At 1:02 I did the second loop. This time I walked corridor C, slowly. The frosted windows along the right side reflect you faintly if you look at the right angle. A blurred silhouette walking parallel to itself. Halfway down I noticed something. The reflection was a fraction delayed. You know when video calls lag and someone moves but the feed catches up half a second later? That! I lifted my hand. My reflection lifted it just after. I stopped. The reflection stopped just after. There is no mechanism in physics for that. I stepped closer to the glass. The reflection stepped closer, delayed. But when I leaned in to see my face, I didn't see my face. I saw the back of a hood. Dark fabric. Slightly textured. Standing where I was standing. Facing me. for half a second. Then it was just my own blurred outline again. I stepped back so fast I hit the opposite wall. The hum deepened again. I said out loud, and I don't talk out loud on shift, I said no. Not as a denial. As a warning. I walked the rest of the corridor, checked the fire exit. Locked. Secure. No footprints on the dust near the threshold. When I came back past the windows, the reflection was normal. Perfectly synced. I don't scare easily. I get bored easily. There's a difference. This wasn't fear yet. It was irritation. Because it means the pattern is shifting. At 1:27, the lights in stairwell 2 dimmed and brightened again. A power fluctuation this time. Visible. I stood at the top of the stairs listening. That's when I smelled antiseptic. Faint, clean, clinical. There's no medical unit in this building. I leaned over the railing and looked down 4 flights. Halfway down the stairwell wall, scratched into the paint near the emergency light, was the thorn symbol. Fresh. White paint chipped away to reveal the darker layer beneath. It hadn't been there on my first loop. I would have noticed. I traced it lightly with my fingertip. The edges were sharp. Someone had carved it within the last hour. There are no access logs showing entry. No triggered doors. No alarms. But someone carved that into my stairwell. Or something did. At 1:49, I went back to the office and pulled up every camera angle covering that stairwell. No one, no movement, no flicker, nothing. The recording between 0058 and 0111 is corrupted. Not blank, just repeating the same 10 seconds over and over. I checked the system time, 0149, then I checked my watch, 2:14. I had lost 25 minutes, not in a dramatic blackout way. I don't remember feeling dizzy. I don't remember sitting down, and I just don't have the footage. I don't have the memory. And the hum was strongest at 2:27. It peaked like a held breath. Exactly 2:27. Every light in reception dimmed simultaneously. The monitors went gray. Not off, just neutral. And the 2-note chime played again. Soft, polite. Then silence. The kind of silence that feels padded, absorbing sound rather than lacking it. In that silence I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, measured. Not running. I didn't turn immediately. Because sometimes if you don't turn, it stays hypothetical. The footsteps stopped directly behind my chair. I could feel a presence the way you feel someone standing close enough to reach you. And then a voice. Not loud. Not whispered. Just placed carefully in the air beside my ear. Keep the light on. The same phrase. Same tone, neutral, instructional. I turned. No one. The monitors flickered back to life. Reception lights returned to normal brightness. The hum receded to its usual background level. The clock read 2:28. I stood up and walked the entire building. Every corridor, every stairwell, every office. The thorn carving was gone, paint smooth, unbroken, no scratch marks. The corrupted footage between 0058 and 0111 is now intact. It shows me standing in stairwell 2, not moving, facing the wall, for 13 minutes. At one point, at 1:05, I lift my hand, and I trace something into the paint. My own finger, carving the thorn. Except there is no tool in my hand. And I don't remember doing it. I watched that clip 5 times. I don't blink in it. Not once. Just staring at the wall. Moving my finger slowly, deliberately. At 1:11 I step back, tilt my head slightly, as if admiring it. Then I turn and walk back toward reception. That's the 25 minutes. And that's what I lost, except I didn't lose it. It's there, on camera, but not in me. I replayed the moment where I tilt my head. And in the stairwell window reflection, faint, almost invisible, there's a second outline behind me, taller, hooded. Still. It doesn't move when I move. It doesn't breathe. It just stands there, watching. I saved the clip to an external drive. I don't know why. Instinct, maybe. Evidence of what? I don't even know. At 3:12 the hum began again. Low, patient, not pressing this time. Just present. Like it knows I'm aware now. Like it doesn't need to escalate. I went back to corridor C. Walked the full length. When I looked at the frosted windows, my reflection was perfectly synced. But at the far end, near the emergency exit, I saw a second blur in the glass. Not behind me. Ahead of me. Standing where I would be in 3 steps' time. Waiting. I stopped. The blur stopped. Then it leaned slightly to one side, as if adjusting its view of me. And the 2-note chime sounded again. Not from a speaker. From inside the corridor itself. Vibrating in the air. I don't know how long I stood there. When I blinked next, the blur was gone. Just my own outline, just the corridor. I checked the time. 2:27. Again. But that's impossible, because it was after 3. The office clock now reads 4:03. My watch reads 3:38. The CCTV timestamp says 2:27 on every feed and every camera. Frozen at that minute. The hum has stopped completely. The building feels hollow. Like something that has exhaled fully and is waiting to inhale again. I've left every light on tonight. Every corridor. Every stairwell. Every office. I don't care about energy costs. I don't care about policy, because when the lights are on, the reflections behave. When the lights are on, the hum stays shallow, and I can see myself clearly. Mostly. If you're listening at 2:27, wherever you are, check the glass near you. A window, a dark screen, a mirror. Lift your hand. See if it lifts with you. If it doesn't, don't trace anything into the wall. Don't lean closer. And whatever you do, keep the light on.